That it was a true story that I hadn't heard about, that I was like, wow, that's incredible. How have I not heard about it? Led by this man, Newt Knight, who I also had never heard about, who had such a clear identity of what was right and what was wrong. Couldn't ignore wrong. You know, this one quote that Gary said early on always stuck with me, is that Newt was a guy that once his bell was rung, he couldn't unring it. And his bell wasn't unrung. He didn't unring his bell even after he was buried. His bell kept ringing through his descendants, through his son and his grandsons, where he was buried, the defiance, the clear understanding of humanity that the man had. Damn be the consequences. He never worried about the consequences. He may have considered them, but he would never not right or wrong on behalf of the consequences being too tough. Didn't matter. Didn't matter how small of a task and how great the consequences might be. He couldn't live with seeing somebody with an injustice or seeing somebody not being treated fairly. I think Gary saw a piece of lost history here that was incredibly important and should be a part of our history, and everyone should know about it. And he said the best way to share that as a filmmaker and a writer is to write that script and make that film. It's something I think he had in his hip pocket, he did for over a decade. And he knew it was not going to be an easy one to get made. And with the success of the first Hunger Games, that helped him, give him a little leverage to come be able to make this at the right time. I think he saw the right time to make it, and then came to me. Me coming on helped, and then went forward to make it. But I think he said, this is a really important piece of American history. Nobody knows about it. It deserves to be shared, and I'm the man to share it. I think that's what he said. He ends up in the swamps and is taken in by this group of runaway slaves, and it's basically led by Moses. They take him in. Moses offers his bed. He says, I'll sleep on the ground. You know, and Newt's like, what the heck's that about, man? I just got here. Newt sees the collar around Moses' neck, and it's just, he wakes up one night, and he's just like, well, that's not right. No man should have that around his neck. You know, let me get that off of you. I know how to get it off of you, but let me get it off of you. They form a certain sort of bond and trust with each other. And it's very unspoken trust. They don't go pat each other on the back and go, thanks for today, but they fight alongside each other. And not just during the war, but after the war as well. And I think Newt, that would be Newt. If Newt had a best friend, somebody that he understood, that he knew had his back, and he had his back, it would be Moses through the story. They became sort of brothers like that through the story. That would be the best way, I think, to explain the relationship. More brothers than even friends, yeah.